Hello, everyone. A very good morning, good evening to everyone who's joined this session with us. My name is Ashwath, and I'm from Sayog Digital. And I'm super excited to see all of you here virtually again as part of yet another version of Creatio's Low Code Marathon. At this juncture, I would like to express my gratitude and thanks to Creatio for this lovely opportunity to be with all of you and be able to share a few thoughts from our experience. Before I jump onto my presentation, I would also like to send out a and kind inquiry to all of you and your families, and just want to make sure all of you are safe and well. Let's quickly jump onto my presentation and see what I'm here to present today. The moment we talk about low code, the first thing that comes into our mind is about, okay, it's low code, it's simple to do, so it shouldn't take a lot of time for any application to be built. And that's my topic for today. How do we go about rolling out applications in a matter of days or a couple of weeks, or even a few months that we could take? It's still a very huge improvement in terms of rolling out applications from our traditional sense of custom applications, which probably take, a lot of months or even years to roll out. So I'm here to share a few experiential insights into, how this can be achieved in our perspective and in our experience. A quick introduction about myself. I'm Ashwath Narayanan. I'm a senior consultant and a practice manager for Creatio implementations at Sayog Digital. I have worked on Creatio projects for over 4 years now, and my responsibilities lie around, making sure of end-to-end, successful implementations with and closely working with global partners and customers, making sure, the implementations are working fine. So I have been with Sayog for over 5 years now, and with the Creatio team for over 4 years. And at Sayog Digital, our experiences have been very, very rich, and thanks to Creatio for those opportunities. Our expertise lies around, enterprise level implementations, which usually involve larger scopes, bigger user bases, and also most importantly, having external system integrations of, with complexities involved around that. We've done more than 18 projects till now that cuts across, various industries, anywhere from marketing to telecom to, government organizations, banking, financial sectors, and across geographies, anywhere from, the end of west end of the United States to the eastern end of Australia. And our team at Sayog is one of the, largest globally certified Creatio teams of more than 30 people in it. Wonderful use cases that we have worked on, anywhere from, Creatio's out of box CRM use cases like, end-to-end sales automation and any ordering, ticketing management systems like things. And we have also had experiences in working on very custom, deep UI custom related use cases. We've had wonderful experiences in integrations with external systems, a variety of ERPs, legacy systems, etc. And also had experiences around data migration of, systems that are going to be retired or in the verge of being obsolete. One thing that is common to all of these projects or experiences is that the goals are very clearly stated, right? The customer goals are very agnostic of what business or industry they are in the context of when they come to a platform like this. They want to be able to achieve end-to-end automation as much as possible in their processes. They want to be able to have an enhanced UI and a UX for the users. They want to have an application that is scalable and maintainable at all points of time, preferably with an in-house team, and then be able to have seamless cross integrations with all the other systems that they have in their environment, have the flexibility of being able to migrate data in and out of Creatio, and also have a catalyzed user training and adoption, because that's the real success metric for any project. While these goals are really elicited, one goal that is probably implicitly put as part of the project plan is that they want to be able to achieve all these goals in a shorter span of time. While it is definitely achievable, there are a lot of soft aspects. While the low code of the platforms gives us the technical expertise and the technical framework to be able to really achieve things at a faster pace. There are also a lot of softer aspects and things that are more real in terms of the way the processes have been made, and the approach to the whole management of the project at different points of time. There are softer aspects that need to be trimmed, and that's what really achieves this for us. I'm reminded of a very short story that I would like to share at this point of time before I move on to my next slide. Is a story of two woodcutters who are given the same axe and asked to cut a tree. And what happens is one of the cutters is able to cut the tree at a much faster rate than the other one. And when they asked him for a reason, he said he spent the first 60%, 70% of the time just sharpening the axe that is going to fit into the wood's nature, rather than directly taking a top-down approach and then cutting the tree blindly. So the process and the thought process behind it being addressed at the start, even before starting the project, is really important. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Three aspects that need to be nailed down at the start of the project itself, as part of the kickoff of the project itself, so that there are no surprises at a later point. There are no reasons why there needs to be slips in the project timeline, and there is minimal mistakes that are made because these things have been considered at the start itself. The first aspect I would like to cover as part of this is the functional and technical solutioning. This is probably the first step into any project where the design is put together, having all the functional and technical requirements in place. One major challenge that we face here is to tie all ends together. There is a data migration end where data needs to be migrated from any of the legacy systems that is going to be probably retired soon. Then there are integrations with the environment systems that are available in the customer's environment. Then there is the Creatio piece, which gives us a lot of out-of-box capabilities in terms of its CRM nature, or out-of-box capabilities in terms of its BPM nature. And then there is and definitely going to be customizations on top of all of this in order to kind of tie all of this together. But in order to be able to tie all of these together, the major learnings that we have had is that, one, the requirement, the more clear the requirement is at the start of the project, the more smoother is it in order to be able to tie this together. Because the requirement from a functional and technical standpoint, from the users, from the IT teams, from the business teams, all of these things need to be really clear in their thought process and their sight as to what they want. And being able to have that clarity at the start of the project really helps. Second is with respect to the ownership of these aspects as well, right? While the implementer, we are able to bring in the Creatio expertise and other things, we need someone from the customer side also to take ownership of the solution and the architecture, because they understand their business and their technical environment the best. And some keys to success to nail this down really is to take some help, leverage from any platform where a clear review and traceability mechanism can be put in place to have good control over the requirements. Because this is the first part, and if there are leakages here, then it's going to have a cascading effect over every other stream of work that's going to happen, starting from design to development to testing to rollout, deployment. All these places are going to get leaked, and obviously the overall timeline as well. So leveraging platforms like Jira, which gives us confluences, which gives us abilities to run sprint, abilities to have hierarchical detailing of features and functionalities, and have clear ownership assignees to be able to sign off on them and have all details captured. That really helps. The second thing is, as part of solution, using plugins and connectors again has a direct impact on the timeline. For one, we don't need to build anything from scratch. That gives us an obvious advantage. Second being, all plugins and connectors that are there on marketplace are already verified and run through a strict process by Creatio to make sure they're optimized code. Their design is in sync with Creatio's capabilities, and quality wise also it's kind of covered for. So this gives us an advantage that it's already vetted through a fairly good process, and we can rest assured, be sure that we can just take it, plug it, and play with it. So that gives us an advantage there. The second item where really we need to pay attention is the project management aspect. Although project management is something that runs through the project, at the start of the project, we need to align on a certain things with respect to project management. the challenges there are, one is with respect to adherence to schedule. While we will have as vendors teams that are dedicated to this project, from a customer standpoint, they might still be involved in their day-to-day business while they are still trying to help us out with the requirement. In that stage, what happens is, especially when there is some core development on or there is solutioning happening in place, the overall schedule needs to be aligned between the customer and the vendor in terms of their deliverables. And this kind of becomes a huge challenge at a lot of a lot of times. The second is with respect to addressing IT versus business disconnects at the customer end in terms of their expectations, in terms of what is capable in the timeline that we are trying to look at, in terms of a solution, in terms of people's availabilities, etc., etc. So our learnings is that we need to first of all understand that every customer has a very specific IT or an SDLC process. And in that life cycle, they will have their own best practices, their own. And we need to understand that and make sure our approach to the whole project management is kind of aligned with that. The second is with respect to responsibilities and ownerships, what we call it as a RACI. We need to clearly call who is responsible and accountable for various streams of work, starting from solutioning to testing. And the keys to success here is that, as I said, this expectation management in terms of responsibilities, in terms of adherence to schedule, all these things really give us a very clear picture. We'll know what are the documentation, how does the customer document things, because we would already know their specific IT processes. So documentation in terms of development, what are the code standards they develop, how do they do source collaboration, how are they expecting the code to be assigned, what is their repository, blah blah, all those things in place. Then the testing strategy in terms of how they would like us to test it, in what way they want us to release it, and how all these things at the start of the project clearly have an expectation set, and that makes the end goal also as realistic as possible, and there are no surprises on the way. The second is with respect to risk mitigations. We will obviously know during the project that there are certain risky aspects of the solution or certain risky aspects around the timeline in being adhering to it. So immediately talking about that openly without any holding back, and then giving all the facts, putting it in place, and then collaboratively coming up with a mitigation plan also really helps. Third option, or the third approach aspect that I would like to cover, is with respect to the user training and adoption. We all know that any CRM application is probably the toughest in terms of making the users getting adopted to it, for its own obvious reasons. Users being on the field and other things, their priorities are different. So asking them to come log into an application and actually enter data is probably considered a little unproductive, considering the rigor with which their sales work happens. But the challenges are actually different. Although the user training and adoption kind of comes at the end of this project, talking about it at the start is really important, because we need the challenges that are there is, again, as I said, that the teams are not as dedicated in terms of time. We are fully dedicated to a project, but they will have their own businesses to run and then help us with that as well. So availability of teams for feedback, clarifications, and training is a challenge, and that needs to be aligned at the start. And then the second part is around driving user adoption. So although they might be available, they might get trained, them actually getting adopted to the system and starting to use it is another challenge. Learnings that we have had is getting on ground, talking to the users and understanding their challenges on the ground at the start of the project itself really has a huge impact on the design that's put together, because each user might have a different problem, and we need to kind of look at it collectively and see how to put the design in place. Second important aspect learning that we've had is the importance of non-functional requirements, which are usually discussed probably in the middle or the later part of the project and not at the start. But understanding how many people, how many rollouts we are looking at, how many people are we rolling it out to, what is the traffic that is expected, all these things also have a clear impact on the final output, because at the end of the day, the users want to use an enhanced UI. They also want a great performing application where they're not waiting for pages to load, blah blah. So the hardware, software, everything needs to be put in place at the start itself. Keys to success here. One thing that we have clearly understood is that having periodic demos with the users from the start of the project, and we might have only a few sprints or milestones, but having weekly or bi-weekly demos for even work in progress items gives a very clear picture to them on what they are trying to expect. And in case there are any disconnects in terms of expectation, course corrections will be very easy, and we will not be too far ahead or too far into the implementation place. That really helps. The second is with respect to training itself. Instead of directly jumping into the use case of the platform, actually giving them a bit of platform training, getting them comfortable with the navigation of the platform, where each thing lies, what each thing means, where do they find each thing, giving them a generic approach to the platform, and then bringing the business sense into it really helps, because they understand the business the best. We can never beat that knowledge, but where we can really help them is to understand the platform from a generic standpoint, so that they apply their own business aspects into it, and then give us feedback or be able to use it. That really drives user adoption to a different level. So these are some of the aspects that we in our experience have found to be really, really effective, and really helped in reducing the project timeline. And as I said, while there are technical aspects of it that the platform gives in terms of its low-code capabilities, these are some of the soft aspects that really need to be nailed down at the start of the project itself, so that the main reasons around leakages, surprises, any risks that are responsible for the slippage in timeline are kind of mitigated at the start itself, and then the project goes on smoothly. That's all I had to share today with all of you. Thank you all so much for spending the time with me today. I really appreciate that. I'm open to taking any questions or suggestion at this point of time. And I would like to again thank Creatio for this wonderful opportunity on behalf of myself and Sayog. Have a very, very safe and be well, all of you. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of the low code marathon also happening over the next one. Thank you so much.